Up, down. Whoop. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. For the video today, I wanted to bring you along with me through another day in my life. It is Saturday and I just have plans to be at home. So far this morning I've shared some little clips of what I've been up to, just helping a sick bee. Anytime I see them sort of weak around the yard, I just give them some sugar water and they seem to love it. And I just find bees so cute, so I loved that and I shared a tiny little clip of that. I also took the dogs on a run, but now I'm back and I'm gonna make some breakfast and get started on my day. I actually have a fair few things to get through. I've just got some cleaning tasks, I've got to do some mending, sewing something, and some beauty upkeep as well. I've got to do my lashes, the Lashify, since it's been nearly 2 weeks and they are not looking so great. I'm missing the outer corners, so I feel like my eyes look extra strange, and I slept on my face last night, so they're flipped, but I'm going to do that in a bit. I'm also going to do my nails since I'm going out tomorrow night to Moulin Rouge, the musical. I'm sure there's other things that I've got to do that aren't coming to mind. One more fun thing for me is going to be doing a fair bit of reading, but I feel a little bit of pressure since I am behind on my reading goals, so I'm going to try and read 2 books this weekend. Not sure if I can pull it off, but I'll see how we go. Anyway, I'm going to make some breakfast and coffee and I'll show you that. Alright, so I've got my breakfast. I ended up making 2 toasted sandwiches because I didn't want to go to that much effort just to make one meal. So there's another one that maybe Bren will eat later, or maybe even myself, I'm not sure. But it is vegan ham, cheese, tomato, onion. So I'm really excited to eat that, and I have my coffee. I've been making stovetop coffee lately just because it's nice to have something warm versus the cold brew, which we've been doing for a while. So that's what we make. I'm just gonna have my breakfast and relax before I get into my day. Alright, now that I feel re-energized, I'm going to tidy up and do a bit of cleaning just to get that out of the way. I don't think it'll take me too long because I really just have some like vacuuming, clean my sinks, blow some leaves outside, and I think I can probably tackle this in 30 minutes if I work hard, so I'm just gonna get started. Alright, all of my cleaning is done, so I'm feeling good. I've crossed that off my to-do list and the house feels nice and organized. But now what I'm going to do is wash my hair. It definitely needs a wash. And after that, I think I'm going to read while I let it dry. Out of the shower now. There is no way to try and make drying hair look good. Those little hair turbans, I feel like I look funny in those, and right now I've got my hair in a scrunchie and back because I don't want it annoying me, down and wet and just making my jumper wet. But it doesn't matter, I am going to be reading, so it really doesn't matter how I look. I also happen to take off my lashes in the shower. I just find that's easier to do when I'm in there with my face wash, or I suppose if they're a little bit more secure, there are other products for that, but they were hanging on by a thread, so I just use face wash. But I'm about to be reading, and what I'm going to be reading is All the Dangerous Things. I don't know if you can see that. This is by Stacey Willingham, and I'll make sure I put the color, like actual book cover on screen. This is a book that I guess seemed interesting to me just from the title and cover alone. Oftentimes I just sort of see a genre, and if the cover looks good, I'm keen to check it out. But One of my colleagues at work had said she'd read this and it was pretty good, so this is what I'll be reading. These days I'm alternating between a thriller and something a bit more light, and it's been a while since I've read a good thriller, so I'm pretty keen for this. I'm just going to veg out for a little bit and see how far I get. Alright, I am halfway through my book. I am liking it a lot. I didn't think that I'd sit and just get through this much in one go. I thought I would do little bits throughout the day, but I do think I need to take a break as much as I want to keep going. I think that if I keep reading I might fall asleep. I definitely need to break it up because my eyes are getting sore. So what I might do now is one more slightly important task before the end of the day, and that is mending a dog car seat cover. Nothing exciting, but it is important since it's starting to rip. I'll see if I can put in a picture of what I mean. It's just because it is getting quite strained against where it's fastened in the car, I guess. Both of the dogs, maybe shuffling around, have ripped it over time, and I think we've had it for a couple years anyway. But I can sew. I have a sewing machine, and I feel like all the sewing I do these days is fixing things. So that's what I'm going to do. I am going to spend a little bit of time doing that, and then I might do my little pamper or potentially read a bit more. I guess I'll see how I feel after I have a slight break from this, but so far I've got to say I am really loving it. I realized as well, I haven't mentioned the plot of this book in case you haven't heard of it yet, but the summary of it is about a woman whose child was taken in the middle of the night, or he was really a baby, like a toddler maybe, was taken in the middle of the night a year ago, in the past from where the present day is in the story, if that makes sense. And at the present time in the story, so a year on, she hasn't had a full night's sleep since, understandably. She's dealing with insomnia and is trying to figure out what happened to her son because there were no leads and she doesn't know what happened to him. There are also chapters that go back to the past of her childhood with a bit of a mystery there and some sleepwalking. Back in the present day timeline, there is also a podcast host who is trying to help her figure out what happened to her son. I actually have a theory on something going on here, but I've got to wait and see if it pans out. I'm 50% of the way through and I really like it, but like I said, I do need to have a break, so I'm gonna gather my things and do this mending.
I know this seems like the sort of thing where some people's first instinct would be to buy a new item when an original item breaks or gets damaged, but I think for me it's quite rewarding to keep something going for longer. Don't get me wrong, it's a way to save money too, but I think any skill like sewing or being crafty to mend or repurpose items is so helpful. Even if you don't have a sewing machine, a lot can be fixed with just a needle and thread even, be it clothes or dog beds and things like this in my case. But that's just my opinion on a super useful life skill I think everyone should learn the basics of.
Alright, it's nighttime now. I think I last checked in when I was fixing the dog car cover. I was sewing and it was a bit boring, so I just showed a little bit of that, and I've repeated some things today, which is also a bit boring. I had a second toasted sandwich for lunch and I went on another run with the dogs. So I didn't think you needed to see that, and yes, if you're listening at home, I've only had toasted sandwiches today. So we need to course correct. I need to have some fruit or veggies, both, before I get scurvy or something. So I'm just going to make a smoothie because I don't feel like dinner yet and I'm not that hungry. I feel like my eating or meal schedule is way thrown off because I've had a late breakfast compared to normal, but what can we do? I'm just gonna make myself a smoothie now. Cheers. Not bad. This was just really quick. I didn't want to chop anything up, so I just used frozen stuff, spinach, raspberries, blueberries, a bit of almond milk and water, peanut butter, and some plain pea protein. So yeah, my little purple smoothie. Not bad. And I think, as much as I want to keep reading, what I'm going to do is my lashes and my nails, but maybe I'll watch YouTube or something just to make it a little bit more fun. I mean, doing a little pamper is fun anyway, but I think I just need to keep a bit entertained as well, so that's what I'm going to do next. But I am going to have this first because my hands are going to be busy for the next little bit. Alright, I've just finished doing my lashes and I feel like they always look funny on camera. I've probably said this before, but I've just sort of done a little bit of a cat eye with my Lashify, so shoulders going out a bit longer and they're a bit more wispy. I think they look pretty nice, so they'll be easy for me to do, you know, makeup when I go out tomorrow night. I think I've said I'm going to Moulin Rouge the musical, and of course I feel like they don't look too much during the week, but I don't know, it just saves me a lot of time. I really love doing this and it's a lot quicker than doing lash extensions every 2 weeks. Plus I really hate sitting there and having my eyes closed, but that's just me. I know this won't be for everybody. I just personally really love doing my lashes at home. Anyway, these are all done now and I'm going to do my nails. That's going to be even quicker, literally just doing a glue-on set, because I kind of like having nails on the weekend and then I can remove them during the week or just change them up depending on what I want to do. So I'm not even going to film that, it's just going to be super quick. I'll come back to you when I have some nails. That literally took about 2 minutes, but I've got some glue-on nails now, just kind of medium length red ones, and I feel a lot more put together for it. So I think that when I get ready to go out tomorrow night, from the lashes it'll be a lot easier, my whole week will be easier, and I'll feel a bit more put together at work. Even if I'm not wearing makeup on my face, I just feel a lot nicer for it. Not that any of this is essential. I haven't had nails in a couple weeks and I kind of go on and off doing the lashes, but I feel great whenever it's done. Now what I'm going to do is get some dinner ready because it is 7, and while I'm not super hungry, I know I'll probably want to eat about 7:30, so I'm just going to get a few things together and make a quick dinner. Alright, I've just steamed some vegetables and I have some leftover seitan from last night and potatoes, which again I cooked up last night in the air fryer, so they're not as golden and crisp, but they should still be good. And I might put a bit of barbecue sauce on this because it is a little bit plain. In saying that though, I feel like this is probably one of the better seitans that I've ever made. It tastes pretty close to how I remember chicken being, and this recipe is by what's the website? It Doesn't Taste Like Chicken, I think is the website. I can't remember the author or the chef's name who made it up, but it's pretty good, and that's how it looks on the inside. I've just cut mine into strips though. So I'm just going to get some sauce and start eating, and then I'll be able to get back to reading.